The world needs someone to stand up and lead. Someone strong. To stop the weak from polluting the world with their endless darkness. Someone to dictate their destiny.
If so, you're not that person, Xehanort. A real leader knows that destiny is beyond his control, and accepts that.
You make me think of an old friend.
Ericus.
Look! Oh.
It's Riku and the others.
Are you okay?
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts is closing on the other side, but we managed to follow our hearts to you. Master Xehanort. There's more to light than meets the eye. As I told you.
You sly fox.
Ericus put his heart in Terra?
Now hand over the Keyblade, Xehanort.
It is too late.
For us, perhaps, but not for them.
No. I can't do this.
Enough. Checkmate.
I told you that you might be surprised.
Yeah, you got me.
Huh? Really?
What?
It's just, you never admit it when you lose.
That's 'cause I never lose.
Oh, come on.
Good game today.
I try.
Maybe I won't go as far as you.
Huh?
When the world needs a defender, they'll pick you, Ericus.
Huh? You think?
But that doesn't mean that I can't be there for you.
Yeah, and I'll be there for you.
Very well done.
It's a big keyblade when it's in Sora's hands.
Terra, Aqua, Ven. Forgive your foolish teacher.
Master!
Master.
Then, I put you through such a harrowing experience. And Aqua, I left you with such a heavy burden. Terra, look after them for me. Please. Here. Ready, my friend?
Yes.
Sora, let's close it.
Everybody help me out.
Playing the Kingdom Hearts 1 theme here. Sped up a little bit, but title theme.
It's finally over.
Oh.
No.
We'll find Kairi. Let's head back to Master Yen Sid. We can figure it out.
No. I know what to do.
Sora!
My whole journey began the day I lost her. And every time I find her, she slips away again. I thought we'd finally be together, but she's out there, alone. Not for one more second.
That's right.
Thank you, Donald, Goofy. But this time, I have to go it alone.
Sora, listen. The power of waking isn't to go chase hearts around. Even if you do locate Kairi, you might never come home to us again.
I will. And we'll both be back before you know it.
Please.
Let him go, Mickey.
Riku.
His heart and his mind are made up. Now believe in him.
Yeah. Safe journey, Sora.
Thank you.
Hey, back at Disney Castle. They return to the light of departure. They went to Wayfinders on his Keyblade, didn't they? Oh, that guy. Why does he know Ventus so well? I don't know what I missed there. Roxas and Lee. And Shion. Right, I forgot about him. Oh yeah, those three too. Well, there's a lot of friends in Twilight Town. Meanwhile, in Radiant Garden, there's Vexen. There's Naminé. That's right, the replica we saved back in the battle with all the organization members. There's the gunny ship. Where was Riku taking Naminé? They're all on the Destiny Islands, huh? Oh, so that's where Riku was taking them all. Ada. Uh-oh. Sora's back with Kairi, isn't he? By the way, there's music playing in the background again. Of course, I had to cut it. I had to mute it, so that's why there's no sound at all. I don't think we're done with the Kingdom Hearts story. Why was Sora gone? And how did he bring back? Did Kairi really come back to the islands? And how did she get back without Sora? Well, it's once again it's ending with a teaser for a future game. I was actually kind of hoping this would be the last one because I mean, it did a really good job of summing up all the stories and bringing everybody together again as far as the Kingdom Hearts characters. Brought Terra, Ventus, and Aqua back together after they got separated back in Birth by Sleep. It brought Roxas and all his friends together from both Twilight Town as well as Axel and Syx's friendship as well and Shion. It looked like it was going to be a really good wrap up, but I don't think we're done. Sora's gone, so we all got to go back and get him again. So that's what I think of that ending right there. But as far as the game overall, I was certainly not disappointed. I was a little concerned, just a little bit. I mean, I know the quality of Square Enix games, and I was just a little concerned that because of a 13-year gap between the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 and this game, that it was going to be a bit of a letdown because there was so much anticipation behind it. Even though Kingdom Hearts 2 wasn't the last game developed between 2 and 3, there were other games developed between that point, which kind of was some of the stories that we saw here and here, like talk about Terra Xehanort and Birth by Sleep, the events of 358 in 2 days, and all those other games all combined together here, which was good. It's still, there was going to be a lot of anticipation behind this game, not just for me, but from everybody that played it. And I have to say, I am impressed. It was very good. The story was not really that difficult to comprehend as long as you have played at least some of the previous games. I'm still a little bit iffy on some of the events of, oh wow, Skrillex was involved in that too. Okay. Wow. Anyway, I was a little bit fuzzy on some of the events regarding 358 in 2 days, even though I think I've got a pretty good grip on the majority of the story, at least on the most important parts of it. Excuse me. Okay, here comes some regular credits. Okay. Kairi was Allison Stoner. Okay, it certainly was not, I could tell, obviously, that was not, Hayden. Anyway, the story was, like I was saying, a little fuzzy on the events of 358 in 2 days. Other than that, the story was actually pretty easy to follow. Of all the games in the series, I'm pretty sure I've got a pretty good grip on this story from beginning to end. Usually with the Kingdom Hearts games, and especially Final Fantasy games, which this is essentially a Final Fantasy game in a sense, because it's very much like that in every way. All the abilities and all that stuff. As I've already talked many times before, this game was actually obviously all the other games, I should say, I had to kind of play it a couple of times in order to get a good solid grip on the story. I pretty much got this one here. I don't think I have any questions about it at all, and it was told very well. And Master Eric was played by Mark Hamill again. That's really cool. That's really good. Mark Hamill was, of course, Luke Skywalker, in case you don't know the name. He's putting Olympus back together, huh? Story was very, very good. The battle game mechanics felt a little sluggish at first, but as I got further into the game, I got used to them, and there were other systems that kind of helped speed up what I thought was slow gameplay. Or not really gameplay, not really slow gameplay, but just like, it just felt a little bit slower than Kingdom Hearts 2, in my opinion. And there eventually that went away. I could feel the pacing of the battles really caught up to where I felt like where it should have been. And into Kingdom Hearts 2 level is what I mean. So my initial concern went away, which is good. What do you got? Lots of customers. What are you complaining about? Okay. Usually he was controlling somebody else doing the cooking, but I guess he's actually doing the cooking now. He's surprised. There's so many ways I want to go with this. I finally got the strategy guide for defeating Bahamut. I did like how I said all the humans back. Because I was actually this actually brought up one of the complaints I was going to say, which we don't see him. Okay, we just assume then. Okay. In the Toy Story, okay, let me get to something I want to say. Okay. One thing I did appreciate was how much time you spent in all of the worlds. Usually in the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, which I'll try to do too many comparisons, I'll try to avoid comparisons if I can, but just, it's part of a series, so it's kind of hard not to compare them. But in the previous games, especially 1 and 2, you spent a lot of time, or you didn't spend a lot of time in each world. If you know what you were doing, and you pretty much stuck to just the main story arc, you pretty much did everything probably I would say maybe 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour at most. I'm just throwing some numbers out here. Here in this game, you easily spent 2 hours in each world. And of course, that was taking me a little bit of extra time because I didn't know what I was doing. Obviously, this is my first time playing the game. But she used her abilities to patch up the wall. Okay. And that was good. I liked how you spent more time in each world. It kind of made it feel like each world was a lot bigger than it was in the previous games. And they all felt very fleshed out and very large. Usually in the Kingdom Hearts 1 game and 2 games, each area inside each world had a name of its own. Take, for example, in Kingdom Hearts 1, in the World of Wonderland, you had the rabbit hole where you started. You had the Queen's, I think they call it the Queen's Castle or whatever, where you actually had the trial with Alice. You had the forest or whatever that area was called, the swamp, whatever that thing was called, and then you had the bazaar room. Each room had its own particular name. It was easy to remember, okay, all right, I know where to go because this room is over. All right, we need to go to the bazaar room. Well, I know where that is. I can go right there. This game had so many areas in each world that you couldn't really... They didn't really have they did have specific areas to each world, but it wasn't like you were instantly going to be able to remember them all because there was just so many to each world. And that was really, really good. It really expanded the worlds, made them feel really, really big. All of the worlds in general. Toy Story, however, I felt was very, very small. That was the only world that I had a problem with. It felt actually kind of small in comparison to the other worlds. Mostly because most of the time that you spent in Toy Story's world, you were just in the toy store. Yeah, you visited a few of the different stores and traveled in different areas, but it still felt kind of small to me. Small, again, compared to the other worlds that we went to. Which also brings me to another complaint I had about Toy Story was it felt like it was incomplete and slow. The catch your head, there you go. The conversation and the interactions and the dynamics of but Woody and Buzz and all that seems slow and not as I can't really put a definition on it. They just felt kind of slow. And I appreciated how there was at least one character. I'll give Toy Story this kind of a compliment on this. There was at least one character in the world that you went to that didn't immediately trust Sora and his friends, and that was Buzz Lightyear. Whereas in every other world we went to, since they were mostly new worlds, everybody was like instantly trusting Sora and instantly trusting his friends. Like, okay, yeah, we'll be glad to have your help here against the Heartless. It was only in Toy Story we had one person that didn't immediately trust trust Sora and his friends, and that was Buzz Lightyear. So I thought that was a neat little thing that they added to that was at least there was one person somewhere that didn't immediately just say, okay, well, this guy's helping us against the Heartless. These mysterious Heartless are nobody invaders. Let's immediately trust them. You know, that was good. But also with the Toy Story world, going back to the downside to it, is I felt it was incomplete as far as the story, is because supposedly some of the toys that went missing also went missing the same time that the humans went missing. Andy and I think Molly and the mom, I think he said his name, I think that's who they said it was, which was the humans that had the toys it was the humans in that world. They all supposedly vanished, and yet we didn't go rescue them. They just, as we saw in the last cutscene, they just magically reappeared. I would like to have seen some attempt to make an effort to save them as well as as well as the toys. Brian Finkelstein. We know where the idea for Dr. Finkelstein's name came from. Which, speaking of Halloween Town, brings me to a positive that I want to say. I appreciated how. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. I appreciate how big pluses on how they only brought back 3 of the worlds. Okay, I'll guess I count Twilight Town as well. But I was thinking really just the Disney games, so I'll just say 3. Three Disney worlds from the previous games, and everything else was new. I loved it. That was really, really awesome. And one of my biggest concerns about going into this game was going to be repeating stuff that we had done in the previous worlds. But they only brought back three worlds from the original Kingdom Hearts games of the Disney. If you count Twilight Town, so you can say 4. They brought back Pirates of the Caribbean, but they told a whole new story, completely different in any way from the previous game, which is good. So in a sense, that was still kind of a new world, even though it was still Pirates of the Caribbean. Olympus Coliseum. Well, they brought back the Olympus world. They brought back the world of Hercules. But again, a plus side there, even though they brought it back, it wasn't just a tournament-based world like it was in 1 and 2. Yes, in 2, they actually added a lot of story by adding Orin going through the whole underworld Coliseum and stuff and trying to talk to Hades and all that stuff, all that storyline there. They added some story to that world, which was good for that time as well. But here in Kingdom Hearts 3 in Olympus Coliseum, they added no tournaments whatsoever, at least not that I found. There was no tournament arena, no Coliseum, none of that, which is good, which means they didn't repeat anything from the previous world. Good. The other one, 100 Acre Wood, it was the other world they brought back from the previous games. Granted, they didn't make me have to go find 5 torn pages and go play 5 minigames again. But again, it was still going to 100 Acre Wood and playing minigames. Upside, the minigames were all short and very similar to each other and didn't have to go traveling a lot of places to get to these minigames. You played all the minigames. I think there was only 3 of them, and you played them all right then, and you were done with the world. But you still brought it back, you still had minigames. I would have been fine if they had not included 100 Acre Wood at all. That world did not need to exist in this game at all. You already had it twice in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 in their entirety, including torn pages, and even in, I think it was Birth by Sleep? I think Birth by Sleep you visit 100 Acre Wood again as well, I think. I think it was one of the spin-off games had 100 Acre Wood in it as well, and you had to play mini games in that one as well. I really could have done completely without 100 Acre Wood in this game. That would have been just fine. So that's a big minus to this game is bringing back 100 Acre Wood. And an even bigger minus, one thing that really pisses me off about this game, and I complained about this in Dream Drop Distance as well, we came across zero, zip, zilch, nada, no Final Fantasy characters. I am very, very pissed off about that. I said this in Dream Drop Distance, and we fixing to get a fancy extra cutscene here. Okay, hold on, I'll wait then. Funny how that Keyblade spins into the world and lands just like the Gunblade does in Final Fantasy VIII, right? Okay.
Finally, back where it belongs.
These look like they came from that last world we were in, that Kalem world. Two women and two men. Who's the guy with the Keyblade, the black box?
Did you summon us back?
Yep.
Is that you, Lucio? You look different.
What?
Haven't heard that name in a long while. These days they call me Zigbar, but hey, whatever suits you.
Is it really you?
Yeah, but some time ago I had to cast my old form away.
You were Brague back in Birth by Sleep.
Plenty more semblances since, but it's still me underneath it all.
What happened? Why are we here? You tell me!
I had a role to play. And after all these years, it's done.
What role?
I guess Ava didn't make it after all.
Meaning what?
I told her, clear as day, what it is I had to do.
And is that why you decided to exclude her?
As if. Ava had her own mission, and she carried it out.
I've heard enough! Lucio, what was your role?
I hope you like long stories.
Oh, right. What's this? I heard about this new game. Seven black pieces, and just watch.
Seven hearts of darkness and one heart of light. Is that what we're talking about there? Okay. That brings up to something else I was going to say. I'm very... let me go back to finishing my thought. I was saying that I'm very, very pissed off that we see no Final Fantasy character in this game. I'm very disappointed. Again, the Cactuar reference and the Moogle references, they don't count. Gilby Sheep completion 4. I don't care about that. Luckily, M was 23 of 90. Wow. I missed a lot of those. I used second form 66 times. Really? Of all the times I used the agile claws, and I didn't use that more than that. Really? Okay. Traveled 48 miles. Okay. That's a lot of walking. No shoes Keyblade was happy gear for... See, that's what I'm confused about. If my most used Keyblade was happy gear for 12 hours... Happy gear. Yeah, that's the one from Monsters Inc. Then how did I use the second form from the original Keyblade more than that? Okay, whatever. Anyway, I am very, very disappointed that they included no Kingdom Hearts, no Final Fantasy characters in this game. None at all. No, not a reference, not a cameo appearance. We didn't go to any Kingdom Hearts. We didn't go to any Final Fantasy worlds, and that really, really pisses me off. As I said in Dream Drop Distance, the only reason I played any of the Kingdom Hearts games at all was because of the Final Fantasy characters. If from the beginning in Kingdom Hearts 1, if they had not included any Final Fantasy characters in the game, it strictly would have been just basically just a Disney game, and I might not have ever played it because the only reason I ever, like I said, the only reason I ever did play Kingdom Hearts 1 was because I knew there was going to be Final Fantasy characters in it, at least playing cameos, and seeing them would have been enough to make the game playable for me, even though I know it was going to be majorly, primarily Disney games, or Disney worlds and Disney characters and stuff. So their lack of inclusion in this game makes me very, very upset. I am very disappointed by that. Extremely disappointed. Also, another thing I'm a little I'm concerned about, and kind of not really disappointed, but I don't really know how to explain my feelings on that, was the appearance of Maleficent and Pete. We saw him kind of a lot in the early game. We saw him when we first went to Olympus. We saw them in Twilight Town and a couple other places, I think. And then after Maleficent told Pete, we're done searching for now. We're done searching for that black box that doesn't exist, which obviously we just found out that it does. We see Lushu, which is Zigbar or whatever, with it, and some characters look like from the Kalem world. So I'm probably guessing that we're looking at there's your teaser for our next Kingdom Hearts game in another 15, 20, 30 years. But they seem like they were going to play a predominant role looking for this black box, and then they suddenly vanished. And we don't hear from them again until we see them in that cameo, right? Or that ending trailer teaser, whatever, in the end of that game. That's all we see out of them. That's it. We don't get to fight them. We don't do anything of that sort. I don't like the fact that they didn't wrap up this. I really think they should have been a wrapped up series. I think they should have wrapped it up here. Yes, I know it's all marketing and they're all going for money here and stuff. And by putting that teaser trailer in there, they're basically teasing the next game is going to come out in, like I said, 10, 15 years. And because the name Kingdom Hearts is guaranteed money, I get the whole business aspect behind it. But I was really hoping this was going to wrap up the Kingdom Hearts series. Everybody goes out, everybody completes all their stories, including the Birth by Sleep story gets wrapped up, the 358 in 2 days story gets wrapped up. Everybody, Sora and Kairi and Riku finally get back together and return to the Destiny Islands, and everything's all hunky-dory and everything's happy. But then we see at the end of it, we see Kairi on the branch of that tree, and Sora vanishes. So we're not done with the Kingdom Hearts story as much as I'd like it to be. Not that I'm saying I don't like the Kingdom Hearts story. I'm just saying that there's a whole lot here, and it's a really fleshed out and really long story with a lot of details and some question marks. But this game wrapped all that up really, really well. But then they still added some more to it, and it's, come on, this is enough. This is enough. But up to that point, I have to say the storyline was excellent. I loved how they wrapped up all the stories of the spin-off games as well, and included everybody here fighting all at once in this final area. I like how you fought almost everybody from the original Organization 13. They shifted in a few guys from the other spin-off games as well to replace the ones that we didn't have to fight. Like we didn't fight Denix, which, by the way, where did he disappear to? We know Vexen wasn't part of it because he jumped ship and helped resurrect Naminé. But it was good. It was nice being able to fight them all again. Especially, I really liked the ending battles as well. I liked how you again kind of wrapped up all the stories and fought all the bad guys from those stories as well. Well, not all of them, but most of them in fighting Terra Xehanort, freeing Terra from Xehanort's control. I liked how you fought Ansem and Xemnas and young Xehanort from Dream Drop Distance all at once, and then followed up with a fight against old Xehanort from Dream Drop from Birth by Sleep. That was all really, really well done, and that's really all I have to say about the story. That was really, really awesome. And then my only concern is for those people who did not play the spin-off games, you're going to be confused by a lot of what you saw here. You're not going to understand who Aqua, Terra, and Ventus are, not fully. You're probably not going to understand. You'll probably understand Axel and Roxas, Axel and Roxas, but you're probably not going to get Xion because if you didn't play 358 in 2 days, which the only reason I'm more familiar with that than I should be, even though I didn't play the game, is because I read up a lot of those journals, which really filled me in on the information that I was missing. Otherwise, I'd probably be confused on who Xion truly is. I thought it interesting how Kairi and Axel got their own Keyblades. That was really cool. And they brought Naminé back, which was really good at the end of the game. That was really good. And then, of course, the one big compliment I'm going to give on this game: visuals. Undoubtedly, the best looking Kingdom Hearts game ever. And that is to be expected, considering this is a brand new game, not an HD remake of all the previous spin-offs and all the previous main games up to this point, with the exception of Fragmentary Passage. All of those games were made on a different engine and made on systems that are 2 generations old and were just remastered recently, were remastered for the current gen systems. This game was made on the Unreal Engine, which is already a great engine to begin with, was on a current gen system and looked absolutely phenomenal. I said when I played Fragmentary Passage that I hope Kingdom Hearts 3 looks at least as good as that game did. This game surpasses Fragmentary Passage and how good that looked. This game was absolutely incredible looking visually. And anybody who is denying that is lying to themselves. This game absolutely looked spectacular. And there were so many times that I'm sure there were probably pre-rendered cutscenes in here, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to point them out to you. I could guarantee you that if you showed me a pre-rendered cutscene and something and a cutscene from in-game, besides the content of the game besides the content of the video of what you're trying to show me, I probably wouldn't be able to tell you this one is pre-rendered and this one is in-game engine, because the visuals just looked so good, especially when they got up close to the characters and stuff. You could see all their fingers were actually fully curved, whereas like in the previous Kingdom Hearts games, their fingers were always squared off and had kind of squarish fingers. In the water effects in the Caribbean world, just remarkable. Your game, if your game has good water effects, I usually like waterfalls, are usually good examples, but if you've got a good water effect on lakes or oceans, something like that, you're going to get huge points out of me, and this game definitely did in the Caribbean world. So, of all of the, well, I say all, with the few complaints that I had of this game, the visuals surpass all of that in every way, except the one negative that I mentioned, how the lack of Final Fantasy characters are here. The awesome visuals, unfortunately, don't make up for that lack of presence from the Final Fantasy characters. That's the only thing that the graphics can't compare to. And I know it's kind of a weird comparison there. It's almost like comparing apples and watermelons. But with the exception of the lack of Final Fantasy characters, the graphics override all the other negatives that I talked about in the game, including talking about the Toy Story and how sluggish it was, how sluggish the combat felt in the beginning of the game. The beauty of this game surpassed all of that. With the exception of the lack of Final Fantasy characters. But undoubtedly, this is the best game of the series. I do one other minor complaint that I did want to make sure I mentioned, which again, the beautiful graphics and the amount of time spent in each world surpasses this other complaint as well. The lack of number of worlds. We didn't actually visit a whole lot of worlds in this game. And I think I said this, and I'm pretty sure I said this during the gameplay, during one of the episodes, that we're spending a lot of time in each world. I was concerned that meant we're going to be limited on the number of worlds we visit, and we kind of did. We visited about, I think, 7 worlds, maybe? Toy Story, Frozen, Hercules, Tangled, Big Hero 6, Caribbean, 100 Acre Wood. I'm not going to count the in-game worlds like the Keyblade Graveyard and the Kalem world, the world where Ericus and Xehanort were originally from, because those worlds were going to have to be in the game regardless, because those are Kingdom Hearts-based worlds. I'm talking about the Disney worlds that we visited. So maybe by comparison, it wasn't really that bad. We weren't really that short on worlds. It was few. I think there was fewer in this game than there was in Kingdom Hearts 2. But again, that's okay, because again, we spent a lot of time in each of the worlds, and all the worlds, with the exception of Toy Story, felt very large and very fleshed out and a lot to explore and stuff. That was very good. I can't really say much else about the game. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. So I guess that'll wrap it up for Kingdom Hearts 3. And unless there's more games going to come out in the future, this is going to wrap it up for my Kingdom Hearts series. I know this has been a very long journey. I started this entire series with Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Went all the way through Fragmentary Passage, Kingdom Hearts 1. I only did one episode of Chain of Memories, which is just a montage of how shitty the game was, because I just could not beat it, and I explained why. Kingdom Hearts 2, Dream Drop Distance, and now Kingdom Hearts 3. It's been a really long journey, and I'm glad to finally reach the end of it. I hope you guys enjoyed it with me. I appreciate your patience again back during Kingdom Hearts 1, when I had to take about a month off because I lost my hard drive, completely crapped out, and I lost easily 6 months of video, not just in Kingdom Hearts, but other videos I was doing. I lost all of that. So I really appreciate your patience on that, and again, your patience on that, and getting in the continuation of the series. And I apologize for how late this game is going to be coming out, because I've got all of Kingdom Hearts 1 to finish, or Kingdom Hearts 1 had to finish, Kingdom Hearts 2 had to finish, Dream Drop Distance all had to come out before this game was able to. So before I released this game as videos, that is. So thank you for your patience in waiting for this game and my perspective on it. I know by the time this comes out, I'm going to be way behind everybody else who's probably finished this game 100 times over and can found all the secrets and stuff. So, but whatever. I, again, appreciate you watching it on my channel. For those of you who subscribed, thank you for subscribing. And that's pretty much all I've got to say. So I'll wrap it up here. As always, I always like to send a special appreciation to the men and women of the United States military, both at home and overseas, as well as police officers and firefighters around the country. Without you guys doing what you do, I would not be free to do this and all the other stuff that I've done. And thank you so much for what you do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the links at the end of this video for more of my stuff, including the links to some of the Kingdom Hearts playlists that I've done. All of the Kingdom Hearts playlists are available in the playlist section of my channel. So just look through the playlists and look for the Kingdom Hearts games. Find out whichever one you want to watch and go find it if you want to. And thank you so much for watching. This has been Kingdom Hearts overall, and especially Kingdom Hearts 3. Thank you very much again for watching. I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and for Sora and Riku and everyone else in Kingdom Hearts, I'll see you later.